Hi mums, how you going? Today I'm here with Simon Bishop. He is the founder of the Hug app and he's here today to talk to us about all things Hug app related. So welcome Simon.
Thanks Bridget.
Thank you for having me and welcome to a group of 86,000 women.
Hi mums.
So Simon has created a Hug app which is a transport and care app to help us busy mums. So Simon, could you tell us a little bit more about your app?
Sure. Look, it was going back a few years when I was working a corporate job, and like a lot of mums and parents out there, I was often relying on my mum, my sister and some friends to help with the pick-up and drop-offs.
Yep.
And also look after my daughter when I was busy at work.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a look around to see what was out there, and when I couldn't find anything, I came home here on this very table actually and started sketching out what we now know as the Hug app.
Yes, very good. So you're a single dad and
Yep.
you found a lot of difficulties. So once you thought of this idea, how long did it take from starting at this kitchen
Yep.
table to launching the app? Oh, sorry, I shook the table.
Look, it's been a couple of years now. So I originally, and I was just looking back on my Facebook page the other day, but it was originally back in 2015, believe it or not, when I originally sketched it out. So I had to build up, I suppose, a war chest and get ready for funding and living without salary and all that sort of thing. So it was basically probably about a year ago that we started development, and the app as we see it today is as a result of that time frame.
Okay, very good. So before we get into a bit more of the details about the app, what is your background? So with education, work experience.
Sure. Look, going back, I suppose, about 2003 now, me and a few guys, we started a software company called Coin Software, which was aimed specifically in the financial services industry. We later sold that to Macquarie Bank, and then I stayed on at Macquarie for a little while until we broke away again and built what we know as an administration investment platform, which is now a listed company on the ASX.
Yes.
And then following that, I spent some time at Salesforce, which is probably the biggest enterprise software company in the world.
Okay.
So I've had about 20 years in IT and financial services. So this has been great, a great way of combining my two passions, which is technology and also parenting.
Parenting your daughter.
Yeah.
Great. So now we want to hear about the app and how it has helped parents. So might actually get you. I said we're going to do this a bit later, but we might do the demonstration now.
Sure.
On exactly, actually tell us a bit more about how the app actually works. So it's called the Hug app, and while Simon's talking, if anybody's got any questions about the Hug app, feel free to post them live and I'll get Simon to answer them straight up. So the basics of the concept of the app.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I think it's important to note, and look, you might have seen us on Sunrise last week, and, there's some misleading headlines going around where they've tried to position this as the new Uber for kids.
Okay.
That's definitely not what I intended to do. So as a proud parent and a very paranoid parent at times of my daughter Bailey, who you might be able to see behind us,
Cute.
I only, like most parents, I think I really only felt comfortable when she's in the care of trusted family and friends. So I didn't want to build just another messaging app, two, an outsourced ride-sharing app with unknown third parties, or a babysitting platform again with people we don't know. Look, they're great as a last resort.
Yeah, but you want it to be trusted.
Exactly. So it was important that the focus was about security. And I can talk a little bit about the security. So
Yes, certainly.
let's say, for instance, Bridget, I wanted to invite you to my network. Obviously, there's an onus on individuals and parents out there to only invite trusted people. But just so there's no mistakes, what we did, we built in a 3-prong layer security where the app won't let me invite you unless A, I've got your contact details on my smartphone, B, we're Facebook friends, or C, our kids share a common address. So they either go to the same school or they in the same netball team or whatever the case may be.
Well, that's great security, because first up you think, especially when you said that a title went out there about it's Uber for children, but that's security to know that you're connecting with parents that you already are or will be connecting with if your child's in the same sporting group or activity or school.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, when I sat down to design it, it was all born out of frustration of trying to facilitate transport and care. So, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate how many times we need to send the same details of a pick-up or a drop-off for the address, and you're sort of searching through your text trail to find that address. So I wanted something that was transactional, so not having this sort of back and forth messaging. We wanted to save time and reduce the stress that goes with this.
Yep.
I basically built into the system the ability to save custom locations. So once you save that custom location, it's always there. So when you go to transact the next time, you've already got that information in there.
Okay. All right, so I'm just going to recap just in case I've got some new mums jumping on to watch. So Simon's created an app called the Hug app, and it's basically, instead of having to, if you've got your little Johnny has soccer practice and you can't make it to collect him or to take him, instead of messaging your friends and, hi, how you going? Are you going to soccer practice tonight? Can you pick up little Johnny? This eliminates all of that in between conversation, and you might have, in Johnny's soccer class, there might be 10 children, so you'll have those 10 parents listed under as Johnny's soccer class, or whatever you want to call it.
That's a good point. So the groups is another key part of it as well.
Yep.
So like you're saying, Bridget, what we don't want to do is, if we've got, let's say you've got 2 or 3 kids,
yep.
you don't want to send a request out for Johnny
yep.
to all those other parents that might relate to the other 2 dependents.
Yeah, so like to the dancing or to something else.
So in the app, you can make it as broad or specific as you want. So for greater efficiency, what I do is I create custom groups based on my child and their activities. So I'll have a group, Bailey's school, Bailey's hockey, Bailey's tennis. And then you do that for each of your kids, so your groups are very specific.
And that's very good. And so then when you put that message out that say Johnny would like to be, you need someone to pick Johnny up and bring him home, and obviously this is going to your trusted people in your contacts, then they all get a notification.
Correct.
And you don't have to spend time, I guess, saying all that, hi, how you going?
Exactly.
Someone can put their hand up and reply and go, look, I can pick Johnny up, that's no problem. And then you've got peace of mind.
Exactly, and like we discussed earlier before the feed, once someone accepts that job, it then disappears from everyone else's schedule, so they're not bothered by a job that's already been taken.
Yep.
The other thing to note, which is a key feature of the app, is that once, let's assume that I've sent you a request to pick up Bailey from school. If you share your location, you don't have to, but if you do, me as a concerned parent can then track Bailey's whereabouts at all times through GPS tracking in the app. Okay,
very good. Okay, great. So we might do a bit of a demonstration on the app, if that's okay.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Simon's got... Oh, and actually I wanted to say that this app is actually a free app, so download it today, check it out. And now Simon's got 2 phones here, so...
We're going to pretend that's another parent.
I'm going to pretend this is my phone. Just don't knock the table.
Sure.
Yeah, my fault. So, yeah.
Do you want me to...
Oh, yeah. So what I'll do is
like this, maybe?
Okay. Stay with us. Hang on.
Is that
a good light? Okay, there we go.
So, hopefully you can see this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into my app on my phone.
It's probably bad lighting. I'll just go around a bit. There we go.
Oh, do you want to hang on?
There you go.
Oh, I don't know if that works.
Sorry
guys, just bear with us.
There you go.
Yeah, that's better. Okay, so what I want to do here, when you first go into the app, you can see that is my dashboard. So I can have a look at what jobs I've got coming up for other parents. And below that, you can see it shows me what messages, what's been sent to me as a request for assistance. I'll also have a schedule. So one of the things I also thought about when I designed the app was, I got sick of having to go through different messages trying to find out where I needed to be on a certain day or certain time. So here I've got a list of all the jobs, and I can go into that and have a look and see what's going on here. So it's saying go from Boo's school to my house, and if I want to have a look at what route I need to take, I can go into the GPS maps, or I can go back. Now, probably the best thing though is let's go and have a look and see how we can do a request. So I go in here and say post a request. So it asks me if this is for transport or care. In addition, if I could do this on a daily basis or it's a commonly sent request, I can post similar. Let's say for the sake of this example, I want to go in there and get someone to pick Bailey up from school. So I click on my daughter, I hit next, I select the time and date. We can just pick any date there. Pick up from, and this is where it gets pretty cool. So you can see here I've got all my saved custom locations. So it's already grabbed my home address from when I set up my profile. And you can see there it's got their house. And that's really important because we might be sending this out to a group of 10 parents. So we don't know what that address is yet, but that'll automatically pick that up from that parent's profile.
So that keeps it quite secure, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So in this example, we'll go from Bailey School. Oh, the other thing I should note is when you save those custom addresses, even if you don't know the address, so it might be Hyatt Youth Centre, which is where Bailey does gymnastics. When I type that into Google, within the app, Google Places integration will pick up the address and populate it for you automatically.
Okay.
Then I want to take 2, and I'm going to say their house because we don't know who'll pick up the job. Now, I go in there and I can access all my saved groups again. It'll automatically create one master group with all your contacts, and from there you can go and just create your own. So I've just got my family, Bailey's tennis, gymnastics, etc. For this example, we know we're just going to send this to my other phone here. So I'm going to go in there and select Violet, which is a fake profile that me and Bailey set up. I hit save and then post. And then that's on silent. I'll just turn that on. So then we go to the other phone and we go over here. So it says Simon Bishop has sent a request to you for transport for Bailey Bishop. And then we go into the app. And then you can see if I go into requests, received, I have a look at, and I can look at the details of the job. You can see here it's brought across the labels. So to make it easy to read and simple to use, Bailey's School to your house. Again, I can look at the route. I'm just going to hit accept. And, oops, here we go. Let's try another one. I'll show you the animation. And you can see here, this is just one of 10 little animations we've got in the app that's sort of a way for the user to say thank you.
Kids would love that too, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, my daughter was a big part of that. So,
that's a bit special.
Yeah, so it's exciting.
That's very good. I'm just putting the camera back into position. Bear with me. Like that. There we go. Very good. So we touched on that it's a free app.
Free to use, free to download.
Free to download. When did you launch this app?
So we launched about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So I've been busy doing a lot of radio interviews. We were on Sunrise last Friday or Friday week. So yeah, it's after a long time developing, it's exciting time now. We're now at market and yeah, we're seeing a lot of downloads, which is great.
Very good. Now I don't want to focus on any negatives, but have you been faced with any negatives?
Yeah, look, I think we touched on it earlier. I think the big one, and rightly so for parents, is this issue around security. And you know, I can't stress enough that, you know, as I said, I'm a concerned parent myself, so I never really wanted to build something that, you know, used unknown third parties, and that's the key message. This is really an app for parents and their trusted network. Again, it was just something that I wanted to make what parents do every day far more efficient, save time, reduce the stress that goes with it. And even the feedback I've been getting from a lot of users, particularly now that school holidays has arrived, it's a great app for that care element as well.
Yeah, that would, yeah.
So one of the things, and this is sort of an intangible, Bridget, that you probably won't find until you start using the app, but what we noticed when we were in our testing phase in the previous school holidays is that, and for me, you know, I know and trust a lot of the parents at Bailey School, but I don't know them well enough where I'd ring them up and say, can you just come and grab Bailey for 2 hours? I've got a bit of work on or whatever. Whereas with the app, you know, it was amazing how many times I would send out a request to a group of 6 or 8 parents. Not people I would typically ring up, but more often than not, that request was fulfilled, and I got that 2 hours off. So for busy mums out there, I think this could free up a lot of time.
And great for busy mums as you're entering those kinder school years, getting back to work. Yeah, and if you've got other children and you need to be here, there, and everywhere at once.
Well, the reality is, I mean, the kids have anywhere between 6 and 8 weeks off at this time of year, and you know, most working people will get 4 weeks a year. So there's a gap there.
Yeah, so it's a great community that you've created. Yeah, it's fantastic. So, Simon? Is there anything else like this out there on the market around the world?
No, look, not at the moment, and I'm hoping not for some time.
Oh, good. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. So as I said, I looked far and wide to try and find something that would actually solve my problem, and it was only really born out of that I then built the app. We've got a lot of exciting things coming up. I'm not sure if this is one of the questions, but look,
it will be.
Yes. So I might jump to that now, but look, we plan to release another version. We'll be releasing versions, you know, quarterly, I imagine. But some of the cool stuff we've got coming out is the ability to send an offer. So for those parents, not a request, but on the other side of the coin, where you can offer your assistance. Because again, going back a couple of years, I noticed Bailey's mum was minding kids before school, and obviously with the state school system, people need to live close to the school. So you know, it saved parents. Yeah, she had a few friends that rather than pay $18 now for before school care. It was a way for her to help out other parents. So that'll be coming into it. Also, a sort of Hug Plus, I suppose, where you can do in-app messaging back and forth with other parents. It'll integrate to your native calendar.
Okay.
And most importantly, we're going to build, which is really exciting, a kids planner where it sort of take you through, enter all your kids' activities for the week, and then you go through this wizard maybe on a Sunday night and plan everything in the week in advance, and then you can also integrate that with your work calendar and identify any clashes and
that's great.
some
That's
exciting
really
stuff.
good. So just to recap for any mums that have just tuned in, so in summary, Simon, this app that Simon has created, Hug app, it's to connect parents where your child is maybe through your child's school or through your child's sporting commitments, music classes, etc. School holidays, and so instead of sending out a text message or a phone call or an email or a WhatsApp message, the list goes on and on and on. You've just got this one app where all the parents from the swimming class can be together, or all the parents from the football team, you name it, and you're all connected in one spot. So I mean, if anyone's been a part of a WhatsApp group, it's there's similarities there in a sense, but there's a lot more to add.
I think it's the key point is it's transactional. So we're trying to eliminate that back and forth and that stress involved in you know.
Yeah, and this way, by using this, you don't feel like if you ring another child's parent, you don't feel like you're putting them out and being a hassle. You're all connected together.
Exactly. That's a good point, and I call that the notion of obligation. The amount of times, they may ring you and it's like you haven't got the time, you're busy yourself, but you feel like you have to. Now, by them accepting your request to join your network, once an acceptance to help, but also you've got that benefit of knowing that there's likely a large network in place where there's going to be someone else to pick up the job, and you don't actually have to say to them face to face, look, no, I don't want to, I can't. Yeah,
that's good. I've just seen Carly's joined. I know she's got school-age children. Carly, if you've got any questions for Simon about the app, have you heard of, or you wouldn't have heard of it, but you may have heard of it in one of the interviews. Simon only launched 3 weeks ago.
About that,
Yeah, so we'd love to hear from some parents who've got school-age kids if you've got any questions about how the app works, or how you'd receive the app. How did you come up with the name Hug app?
Quite
cute.
I actually went through a couple of names first prior to launch, but I wanted to sort of have a name that evoked a sort of warm, fuzzy feeling. And something that related to thanking someone else as well, because this is a big part of helping each other out. And then that tied in nicely with the animation, which I showed you before, which is always something that we wanted to do.
Yeah, that's lovely. It's very good. Okay, well, I'm trying to think. I think we've covered everything. Have you got anything else you wanted to add about your app?
Look, I think we have covered a lot of it.
We're just emphasising that it is a free app, which is really appealing to parents, and it's free to download. Did you want to explain anything about the hugs that you collect?
Yeah, so look, one of the other things why we called it the Hug app, initially, we put a value on each successful transaction at $1 or 99 cents. But the reality is we want to make this free for all Australians, ongoing. So the way it works is that each time, and you get free, when you set up your profile, you'll notice you get free hugs as you complete the different steps. If you go to the Hug app Facebook page, we're always giving it, we've got promo codes on there, which is simply a matter of entering that in. And as I said, we want to make it free for everyone because there's a lot of other stuff we want to do down the track, that we can make money off later on. But the core offering will always be free as long as they have hugs in there.
Great, very good. So it's very exciting. So if any mums have questions and you post them later on, I'm going to get Simon. I'll forward them on to Simon. I'll get Simon to respond straight away. But it's very exciting times for you.
Thanks, Bridget.
And thank you for joining the Midnight Mums crew. And good luck with the Hug app. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.